This ain't no joke, this ain't no game. This that CSZ game. They said pull up, so I came. You better put some respect on their name. Yeah, 55, what's goody? Kill the vibe, how could he? Big Cardinal on the hoodie. Let me break it down for you fully. This ain't your average broadcast. This ain't just no podcast. The mother shows spread fake news. We just call them broadcast. West, Joey, Sam, Sean, Dalton. And you know that boy Higgy. He said he don't want no small fries. Tell them they better make them biggie. Yeah, you already know what we be on. We got the crown, we hold the throne. We throw the mails and you take them on. When they ring the bells, you know that it's home. The bar set, we setting the tone. If we set it, then set it in stone. Sit in the seat, set up your phone. You in the Cardinal sports zone.
What is up, everybody? Finally, CSZ has come back to the airwaves, man. We've been trying to get this episode 200 together for a month now. We had our guy, Teddy Bridgewater, that was going to be coming on the show with us. Let's see if that's our other guest that has finally got his video to work. No, it did not. Look, we're not going to have video of one of our guests today, but we are going to bring you still a good show. But Teddy had to pull out. We're going to still bring you an exclusive interview with Teddy Bridgewater within the next month. Got some plans, some cool plans to visit with Teddy and talk with him, and we'll have him here live on the show at that point. Look, episode 200, as you know, I had to make it epic, and when I already had a couple other people to join us with Teddy, and without Teddy, I mean, with Teddy, it's an amazing show. Without him, it's still a really good show because, first off, I want to bring on a guy who I have been doing radio with for about 11, 12 years. I had some stuff pop up in my little time hop thing on Facebook today, and like 11 years ago today, we were filling in for Lloyd Spence on Talking Noise, which come on right after KSR. That was one of our first major radio things, and then the year before, me and him were doing like a Sunday sports column for a radio station in Mount Washington, I believe it was. I'm sure he'll correct me when he gets on. That's what he likes to do. But really good friends. He's like a brother to me. My actual brother is here, Joe Wyman in the building.
What's up?
Underneath him, my brother Wes.
What's going on, everybody?
Not biologically. And next to him is the 6-star red shepherd, Dalton Pence. What's good, Dalton?
What's going on, y'all?
Not much. But the guest of honor, he is on your radio waves Monday through Friday from 10 to noon on ESPN 93.9 The Ville, doing the Lord's work. It's our guy. It's the third Wyman brother, actually. That's what Mom has called him. And not you, Higgy, because you're too fat. It is our guy, Steve Rummage. Steve!
Hey, who are you guys?
My name's Deez.
Waiting on. No, listen, man. It is a total honor to be on here with Joe Wyman and everybody else. But yeah.
Thanks, Steve. Hey, hold on real quick. You talk enough during the week. I heard you were secretly Mick is the pick. Is that true?
I don't know what that means, but no.
Okay. Fair enough. Shout out to the people that are in the chat line already blowing it up. Cardinal, Welch, Chris, Corey, Quentin, Justin, Robert Holt, getting the band back together. I mean, this is what we do. Look, he was on episode 100, had to have him on episode 200, probably will be on. He's contractually obligated to only have to fool with me one time every 100 episodes. So yep. He was really excited when I was in the hospital for 4 months. So that way there was a big gap in between shows, 100 and 200. So, all right, we've already got in the chat line, Levi Gaskins, we want Steve. It's not going to be that kind of show today, guys. It is going to be a good show, though. Don't forget, the Mossy Oak chat line is open. Mossy Oak Properties and Hart Realty, our guy Paul Thomas out there, sponsoring the chat line. And if you've looked at the graphic, you've noticed a couple of new sponsors on there. Our guy George out at Bear Nose on Market joined on with us for the rest of the basketball season. Our friend Sydney down at Cherry Pickin', she's on board with us. We got Payne Siva, shoot 360. I mean, that's all you really got to say is Payne Siva. That's good enough. Alongside with Chris from Four Pegs, Chris from Fitness Market, and our guys out at the Collision Course Crew Tailgate. But we are coming to you live from the Four Peg Studios this week. It's the Cardinal Sports Zone Podcast, episode 200. Check on the graphic below us to see how you can follow the Cardinal Sports Zone Podcast on social media, or how you'd like to help support us monetarily. You can always do the YouTube subscription. Subscribe. I had it right the first time. Felt like Chris Moe there for a second. The YouTube subscriptions, or you can do the stuff that's underneath West right now. There's ways that you can donate and help the show out. One of those ways is Cameo. Cardinal Sports Zone does have a Cameo page. Please, I hope nobody gets on Twitter and rips me for promoting my Cameo page. That is something that happens here in Ville from time to time. But yeah, you just tell us who you want on your Cameo from Cardinal Sports Zone. And this is something new. We haven't got to promote it a whole lot because we debuted it on the last episode, which happened the first week of January. Then we waited for Teddy to get eliminated from the playoffs, and he just wouldn't lose. So we didn't get to promote it for a while. So it's actually our second promotion of the Cameo. Feel free to log on, do one of those. Historic 200th episode. Again, as y'all know, me, Steve, and Justin started in radio probably about 11 years ago together as a trio, co-founders of Cardinal Sports Zone. Over all formats. We started off, like I said, it was in Mount Washington, right? That's that radio station, Steve, the church.
Yeah, then we did a tournament selection show out there.
Yeah, and then we did this tournament selection show, and then we did the Talking Noise with Lloyd and them, and that's what really got it.
The Sunday, you were right a minute ago. We did the Sunday call-in spot or something, right? Yeah, for out there in Mount Washington for a few. It was like, I don't know, a couple months, right?
Yeah, we did it. It was like from January till the end of the NCAA. You remember what it was like to make the NCAA tournament? It was fun.
I don't.
No, me neither. I'm dead inside. But yeah, we did that, and then we did the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast for about 6 weeks, and then both 790 and 939 was clamoring at the bits to get us because they liked what they heard. And the rest is history. We were on 93.9 on Saturdays for about 5.5, 6 years, and
now I'm a star.
What's that? And now you're a star. Yeah, thanks. If y'all haven't noticed, Marcus is the one that always talks about being humble, not humble, but Steve really is the originator of that, honestly. Get Lamar Jackson on the show. You know what? I'll give it a shot, buddy. I think everybody would love to get Lamar Jackson on their show here in Louisville.
Call him up.
For sure. But yeah, I mean, we've done, again, overall formats, we've probably done over 1,000 shows together overall. Good time, great people. Speaking of great people, I'm going to go ahead. We're having some issues with our first guest, our second guest video. So I'm going to go ahead, give him a call on the old telephone. We're going to do this old school like we used to back in the day. And let's see if we can Dejuan, you there?
Yes, sir.
All right. I want to make sure I can hear. Can y'all hear him? Dejuan.
Yep. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. They can hear you. So it's time for the introduction. Look. He's Louisville's number 2 all-time scorer with 2,183 points. He was the first player in NCAA history with career totals of 2,000 points, 450 assists, 300 three-point goals, and 200 steals. He ranks in the top 10 of almost every offensive statistical category. He's got a school record 136 consecutive games played and is the Cardinals' all-time leader in minutes played with 4,560. His career high was 35 against UAB. He was drafted in the second round of the 1997 NBA draft, 51st overall pick, and he's currently an assistant coach at IU Southeast. He is the greatest of all time. We kind of spoiled it for you already when we said, hey, Dejuan, are you there? But it's our guy, Dejuan Sweet. What's good, bro?
How y'all doing, fellas? Thanks for having me, man. I apologize, man. I needed to get with Team iPhone, man. I'm sorry about this Android, man, acting up.
Oh, no, you can't apologize for the Android because that's what I got, bro.
There you go.
And mine's working. My brother's – look, here's the thing about it. I forgot that the last time you came on the show, we weren't doing video. so I didn't have to work the bugs out. So with Ellis, we sat here with Ellis Miles literally for about 50. We were 15 minutes late starting the show because he couldn't figure out which buttons to push to unmute and turn the video. And finally, he got it figured out, and we were able to roll. But we appreciate your time, Steve. We appreciate your time today as well. It's not about you, though, right now, Steve. It's about the GOAT.
That's fair.
He scored just a couple more points than you did at Louisville, Steve.
Combined.
Just combined. Look, he's got more points than all of the rest of us combined at U of L. So
I have a tackle.
You do have a tackle. That's true. You do. Listen, I want to hop right into it. I thought it was important for this 200th episode to have some people on that meant a lot to me. And Dejuan, you mean a lot to me, man. I cannot forget going to high school and seeing the battles between you and Jason Osborne and you and Derek Anderson. And that truly, I'm sure you probably agree with me, but that was probably the greatest time in Jefferson County high school boys basketball history. I don't think we've ever had that many high caliber guys in the city at the same time. If it was before my time, I'm sure. But then, so you all were a class ahead of me. I graduated in 93. I didn't get to U of L till 94 because I broke my foot and had to rehab before I got up there. But my very first day, I just want to tell a quick Dejuan story, and I'm going to ask everybody else their favorite Dejuan story too. But my first day of class, I went from being in a classroom full of like 30 people to going to U of L, and we were in this big auditorium. I don't remember. It was social studies, I think. And I sat down, and all of a sudden, you, Alvin, and I want to say it was Samaki. Samaki was there, right?
I can't remember, man. He might have been there.
I believe it was Samaki. It was either Samaki or Cliff. It was one of the two. And y'all all sat around me, and you recognized me because, of course, I went to all the, me and DA were really good friends, and I hooped
what
up.
Year was it?
It was 94.
Well, it was Cliff then.
Okay. So I knew it was one of them tall dudes because they were the only people I'd ever seen at that point that were taller than me. I thought I was always the tallest. I'm 6'6.5". You're normally the tallest person around unless you're playing basketball. But you were just so nice to me, and you were like, "Oh man, what's up? How's DA?" And we talked for a little while, and then anytime we had like group projects, we made sure us four were grouped up together, and you just treated me. And then your cousin Fred played football with my brother, so it was just like it was a family affair, and it was just like I always got nothing but good vibes from you. And I don't know if you probably do know this, but you inspired a lot of kids from our time. And I say that because I'm trying not to sound too old because I don't feel old. But we got one guy in here that wasn't even born when me and you were at U of L. So shout out to Dalton. But it's like you inspire, as when we were kids, we all put on our jerseys and we're like Griff or Milt. Like a lot of kids put on that U of L, including one of our co-founders, Justin Rink. He's not with us here today on the show. Put on that wheat jersey and went out and they lived their childhood dreams in your jersey, man. So I just want to make sure you know how much you mean to the fan base and to the community and to me as a whole, man. I really appreciate you.
Man, that's good words, man. I really appreciate it, man. And thanks you guys for having me again. When you text a call, man, I'm definitely gonna be on, man. I love what y'all doing, and y'all keep putting that Louisville sports out, man, because we listening.
Hey, I appreciate that, man. And again, like, not to beat a dead horse, I was in the hospital for a while at the beginning of last year. You checked on me every few weeks. You made sure that I didn't need anything. A lot of people didn't, but my true friends, my close friends did, and I appreciate you.
I was there for like 11 days straight.
Okay, Joe, you got to get your credit. You were there for 11 days straight. That's for sure. But what are some of your favorite? Let's just jump into it because I know you don't have that much time, Steve. You don't have that much time with us, and I appreciate both of y'all's time. Oh, Joey's got to work tonight. Okay, well, then this is all going to go in the trash can if that's the case. What were some of your favorite U of L memories at U of L, Dejuan?
Man, I got so many. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, it was a great run, great 4 years. I just think about my time there sometimes. I know we having tough times the last couple of years, but sometimes I reflect and think about the times that me, Alvin, Samaki, Jason Osborne, Tick Rogers, a lot of those guys that DJ Flynn, a lot of those guys that I named and was on our team. We wasn't high 5-star All-Americans, McDonald All-Americans. We was we were just regular players, man, who bonded together and played hard and all had a common goal. All had a common goal, and that was winning basketball games. We all bought into, Coach Crumb's system, and we made magic, man. I mean, three Sweet 16s, one Elite Eight, and with my ankle injury my senior year in '97, I still think about that. Just what if, what if, I was healthy and Alvin's rolling, and we had a bunch of freshmen that was playing major minutes, and it was just a good time and to be a Cardinal back then.
Absolutely. Steve, I wanted to ask you, because you're not on here with us all the time.
Yeah.
Appreciate your time. We know you're taking a time out just to be with us right now. What's your favorite Dejuan memory?
Well, actually, it's not even a Dejuan memory as much as, according to Marcus Maben, I need to clear up with Dejuan and the Wheat family that I do not, in fact, think that Russ's jersey should have been retired instead of his. And he may know what I'm talking about. I said that on the air, and I said, Russ Smith, is getting his jersey retired. And I was like, he should. That should be. Well, somebody called in and said something about Dejuan getting his jersey retired. And I was like, yeah, I think so too. I was like, I think they're doing Russ's first for a reason. And then,
right.
So apparently, there was like a week later, Marcus went to a cookout with the Wheat family, and they were like, we got a bone to pick with Rummage.
Okay. Well, I forgot he can't hear you, so I'm going to translate. I'm going to make it short. So Steve Rummage from 939 The Ville, he's one of our other guests today. He said he wanted to make sure, he said apparently Marcus went to a cookout with your family, and there was some sort of a misnomer that he thought, apparently he said that they thought he said that Russ deserved to have his jersey retired before yours, but that wasn't the case. He was misunderstood. So he just wanted to make sure that there were no hard feelings because he loved Dejuan Wheat.
No hard feelings at all, man. And trust me, Russ deserved it. I mean, Russ had an amazing run. I mean, just a 3-year period is probably one of the best ever. And I'm a big Russ fan, so yeah, it's no hard feelings here. Well,
look, and just to be clear, he wasn't. One of the callers made it seem that way. He did. I'll be honest with you. I think that you should have been before Russ, but should have happened a long time. Well, the same thing with Ivan. Ivan finally just got himself inducted into the Ring of Champions and the Hall of Fame here at U of L, and he deserved to be in there a long time ago. I just want to read a couple of these things from the chat. Our listener Antron Basden says, "Wheat is my GOAT. He's the foundation of my fanhood as a child." Justin McCord says, "BJ, the flop god Flynn." Robert Holt says, "Tim Duncan still walked and fouled out. Dang it." He says he don't normally hold a grudge, but to HE double hockey sticks with Wake Forest. It is what it is. Dalton, do you have a question or a memory or anything for Dejuan?
Well, obviously you kind of alluded to it. I was born in '98, so I didn't really get to see him play live. But one thing,
the youngster, by the way.
But one thing that I've really enjoyed doing, really since I started becoming a Louisville fan, was when the classics were played on TV, which, when ESPN had those classic games that they played. I remember one in particular. It was Tulsa Louisville back in '96 in the tournament when Dejuan had, I think it was 30 or 33, and Samaki Walker had 20 off the bench in a pretty close game. So obviously don't remember much, but try to catch up as much as I can.
Said, just to translate, he said, big fan. He remembers when he was growing up watching the Louisville Tulsa game in the NCAA tournament. That's what really made him a big fan of you. So big fan.
Oh yeah, man. I appreciate that. That was great times too. Man, I'm pretty sure I think it was a 6 against a 10. I think we was a 6 seed. Can't remember. Maybe they was 11. And you never know what you're gonna get when you play against those mid majors, man. I'm telling you, they come out with a different style. They undersized, but they play super hard, and they play with a grudge, and it was just an awesome time, and it was a good time playing against those type of guys, and we had to work to win that game, so I can remember.
Went into overtime.
Yeah, went into overtime. Joey, did you have one that you wanted to share? You can come over and say it on this mic so you can hear you.
I'm sure you can probably hear my loudmouth talk, but no, I mean, like if you rank eras of Louisville basketball, he's the Dejuan, you're the Michael Jordan for Louisville basketball.
Man, come on, man, I appreciate that. That's
well, I mean, you kind of got like Michael, Kobe, LeBron, like those type of levels. You're the Michael Jordan, man. I mean,
awesome.
You had the sweetest 3-point jumper, man.
sWheat. That's why they called it sWheat.
I know, man. It was a thing of beauty.
That's awesome, man. That's good words, brother. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you can't really. I can't really pick out one moment because there were so many. But yeah, I'm with you. I really was hoping to see the year that you got the ankle injury in the tournament. What we could have done that year, but obviously, it's nothing you could have, prevented from happening. But Alvin sure took over in your absence. But yeah.
Yes, sir.
We were that senior year game against North Carolina. I believe we were down pretty big at the half. I think Steve had to hop out for a second, or maybe we used up all of his time. It is what it is. We were down pretty big at the half, and we outscored them in the second half, but it still wasn't enough. When you don't have your, perfectly said, Joey, when you don't have your Jordan, you got to rely on Pippen. It's just not the same. Shout out to our Pippen, also a good friend of mine, Alvin Sims. But look, so our listener Allie says 1997 Sweet 16 versus North Carolina. When they had Vince Carter and Antoine Jameson at the Carrier Dome, they were there. Okay, well, look, you're way back. I wasn't even old enough to drive. No, I was. I was old enough to drive. I wasn't old enough to get out and travel is what I meant by myself at that point.
We played Texas the game that he got hurt, right?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Okay, it was the game right before North Carolina.
Was that the game when, was it Alvin or Damian Dancer grabbed the backboard and dunked on old dude from Texas?
It would have been Alvin.
I think it was Alvin for sure.
Yeah, probably Alvin. Yeah.
I know. I'm pretty sure that game, it was either that game or North Carolina. Like he cocked and loaded and
it was the Texas game. I mean, I'll never forget, because he used his left, and I don't know why it wasn't called. I don't know if that's interference or not, but he definitely grabbed the backboard with his left hand to get up over that center for Texas and just completely crammed on him.
Yeah, Alvin was beautiful, man. Hey, shout out to Alvin Sims. Let me ask you guys a question. Isn't he the hardest college dunker of all time?
I think so for Louisville. It's a tie between him and Trez.
I was going to say, you're going to have Trez in that conversation. But
yeah, you definitely got to have Trez in there.
Yeah,
gosh,
man, Alvin.
Up there,
but Alvin was what was he, 6'3", 6'4"?
Yeah.
About 6'4".
Yeah, so I mean, Trez is a big man, so like him dunking on people is kind of expected. Alvin, when he would take that baseline, oh my gosh.
You were in trouble. Even
ruthless aggression.
Listen, even when we were playing in the SAC during the summer, or even after basketball season was over, you wanted Alvin Sims on your team. You wanted two people on your team. Well, I did, because there was only one person in that gym that if I was playing, I didn't have to play center, and that was Troy Jackson. And Troy would play center, I would play the 4, and Dejuan and Alvin be 1 and 2, and we'd run the SAC all day long. The Student Activity Center, Joey, calm down. Yeah. Quentin, Kevin Watson in the building. What's up? So, Dejuan, you still played the North Carolina game, didn't you? Or was it the Texas game that you played on your sprained ankle?
Yeah, I got hurt in the Texas game. I think in the second half, and when I got hurt, I think it was on a Friday. I think it's Sunday we played. Got hurt Friday. I'll tell you, those next 48 hours was tough. Just trying to get my ankle to go down, get the swelling to go down, and going through rehab. I think I slept on the training table for at least 40 hours straight. And I just remember Jerry May just squeezing my ankle, and you just man, that was excruciating pain. But I just wanted to get my shoe on. I told myself if I get my shoe on, then I was gonna give it a go.
And that's another thing I always admired about you. You're such a hard worker. You put a lot. of dedication into it. And I saw that as a high schooler, man. Again, being able to watch you and J.O. and D.A. and Chris Travis. A lot of people forget about Chris Travis, but Chris Travis was probably the best high school basketball player at that time, but he couldn't get out of his own way as far as extracurriculars. We'll leave it at that, if you will. But listen, okay, so here's what I want to ask you before we get off of the before we let you get to the rest of your day. And again, we appreciate you so much for joining us on here. Next time, I'll make sure we do a test run so that we get the video rolling, because all these people are like, man, I wish we could see Dejuan, because they, at the end of the day, it's X amount of years later. We won't go into the specifics, and people love to see. They love to see you out in public. They love to see. I went to the Georgia Tech game the other day, and I sat with Alhaji Muhammad, Ellis Miles, Jason Osborne, Tick Rogers. They were all there together. And just the amount of people that even now, even little kids that should never have known who any of them were, oh my God, it's Ellis Miles. Oh my God, it's Alhaji. Oh my God. They were so excited. So we're equally as excited to have you here on the show. And they're equally as excited to be able to see you the next time. And this surely won't be the last time you're on here. Kevin Watson says to tell Dejuan I said hello. We played football together in the old firefighters days.
Okay, yes, good times. I started off playing football. Yes, love those times.
A lot of us did, though. A lot of us started. I mean, I that's what I ended up playing. But I remember a lot of the I remember being like watching flag football teams where like DA and JO and all of them played a little bit, and you two. I vaguely remember that now that it's mentioned. Kevin's a lot older than I am, so he remembers more probably. But look, I would be remiss if I didn't ask you this, and I don't want to put you on the spot. And if you don't want to answer, that's cool. The state of the basketball program right now, it's a lot of people are quick to say, "Oh, we're in a time in college basketball where you should be able to turn a roster in a program around in about 3 months with NIL." A lot of people don't take into consideration that we've had prostitution and extortion and bans and illegal recruits, and about 9 seasons worth of whatever the worst that could happen has happened. And a lot of people, you know how people are these days. We live in a microwave society. They think everything should be fixed yesterday and to be moved and move on, and everything should just be better instantly. Now, I'm a little biased because, and you're a little biased because you played here at U of L. I'm a little biased because I know Kenny, I know Nolan, I know those guys up there. So sometimes I'll give my opinion and I'll sit back and be like, is that a fair opinion, or are you just saying that because these are people you know and you love and you want to support? Trying to take that, put that to the side a little bit. Are you, as a fan now, are you of the mind that you think that it's time? And again, I don't want you to say anything that'll get you in trouble. You can speak in generalities if you want to, but is it time? We'll just say in any situation that was a situation like ours, is it time to move on, or is it time for us to put our faith in him and be like, well, look, it really does. It takes. We give college football coaches 4 years to get all their guys in and all the previous guys out and to get their systems in. And I understand that college basketball runs on a way smaller scale player-wise than football does. But I guess what I'm wanting to know is what are your, I guess, ask it this way. What are your thoughts on the state of Louisville basketball as it is right now?
I'm a fan, former player, and currently a fan, always will be, always have been. We know what we're watching. Some games, I have to agree that, some games it's tough. It's tough. And then, lately you see improvement. And with the improvement, you just have to be hopeful. Now I will say, a year and a half doing anything, trying to turn something around, trying to get, back to what organization or a program once was, it's tough to do. And for that, I think there have to be some leniency. I think, Kenny Payne's a friend of mine, like him, good person. But, coaching's tough. When you're thrown into the fire, and I've been a coach, been a head coach, and I'm currently an assistant coach at college basketball. And it's tough, to lead a group of men, young men, to have one common goal. When there's a number of distractions that goes on in a college, not only a basketball player, not only athlete, but just a college student's life. It's a tough situation. It's a tough situation, and I think, I'm as a fan, yes, I would like to see us, winning more games and being in the tournament because that's where we belong. Mm-hmm. That's where we belong, and I just leave it at that.
And that's really all. Again, we got Louisville basketball GOAT Dejuan Wheat on here with us on the 200th episode of the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast. Dejuan, how much do you think that our struggles are because of we're in the NIL age? And let me expand on that a little bit. I've had a couple people up there tell me that we have some prima donnas on the team. They only, they're getting paid now, so they want to work when they want to work, and they don't want to work when they don't want to work. How big of a factor do you think that the players getting paid is having in the struggles that we're having right now?
It could be. I think as all coaches, like when I played, Coach Crum, I heard that he didn't like the 3-point line at first. But then everybody started shooting them, so you have to adjust. And, because, if you can remember back in the day, Coach Crum liked big guards. Mm-hmm. And, I was a guard that was only 6 foot, but he took a chance on me, and, we worked well together, and it kind of changed that narrative. But as far as NIL, if you don't like it, then you're going to have to change it, or you're going to have to get with it because everybody else is doing it. And I will say that, it's tough. It's tough because, when all these 18-year-olds are signing these deals for big time dollars, it's almost like, if you're a college basketball player, you're going to go to the highest bidder.
Absolutely. Here's what has surprised me within the last few months. I've heard that Kenny had to go out and raise his own NIL money, and we only have $1 million for NIL. I say only, that's a lot of money. But as a comparison, I think I was told yesterday George Mason has $3.5 million for NIL money. It was one of the teams in that conference. It may not have been George Mason, but the fact is that a lot of people have said that Kenny's had to go out and get his own money and be the coach and do all this other stuff. Do you think with him being a first-time head coach at a top 6 to 8 program of all time, do you think that this is harder on him because he's a first-time coach, or do you think that this is just something you just got to learn on the fly? Because I'm of the mindset that he told us when he was when they announced his press conference, he said it's going to get bad before it gets better. I need y'all to bear with me, stick with me, stay on my side. And we had 5 wins last year, and 4 wins last year. Sorry, I gave us one too many, and everybody jumped off the boat. I don't think a lot of people at the end of the day realize, and it's because Kenny's not very open with the media. He's not very open with the fans. A lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes. I know a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes. Sometimes I wish that he would come out and just tell everybody what he's had to go through so people would be easier on him. But that's not how Kenny works. That's not how this is going to work at all. But Kenny come in here, it was perfectly – I don't remember if it was you that gave me this metaphor. Please take credit for it. But somebody told me it was like Kenny showed up. Somebody had mailed him the keys to his Porsche, and he showed up to pick up the car, and there was a Pinto sitting there. The key didn't work, couldn't get it to start. Basically saying he didn't have Louisville caliber basketball players here. And I do think that plays a lot. I do think we do have a lot of Louisville basketball caliber players here now, But last year, I think we were slacking on that, and it showed last year. And I don't really know what the reasons are for the struggles this year, other than we don't have enough roster turnover yet to get all the old regimes guys out of here. But I hope for the best. We've got 4 home games left. We've got an ACC tournament game, and then we go to Duke as well in that stretch. I hope for a strong finish. There's a lot of people out there that have had their fandom tested because it's a rumor. I cannot deny it. I can't confirm it, but I won't confirm it, even though I kind of just did. But the rumor is that Kenny has to get to 12 wins to keep his job. I think that's doable. I think it was more doable a week ago before we lost Sky and Tylor. That's another thing. Insurmountable amount of injuries. And people will be like, well, we had the full team at the beginning of the year and we were struggling with people. We've got like the second youngest team in the country.
Yep.
And that's not taken. People like to just look over all the stuff and pick out stuff to fit their narratives. I do that too sometimes. I'm probably doing it right now, if we're being honest, unintentionally. But second youngest team coming off of a disaster of a season. We went out and we got the 5th ranked recruiting class in the country. Then Trenton bounced on us 2 weeks before school started. Dennis, bless his heart, is out for the season with a medical condition. JJ's been out with 6 months for a while, not 6 months, with a shoulder injury. There's just been a whole lot of stuff around this. Even when Dennis was playing, you could tell he wasn't playing at full speed, and it had probably had something to do with his condition. But did Pitt only have 3 turnovers last night? That's not Louisville caliber basketball players. Look, Quentin, very fair, okay? That doesn't sound like Louisville caliber basketball players, but when you only got 6 people playing the entire game against Boston College, Quentin, we showed that the best. We played really well versus Boston College in the first half. Then we ran out of gas. In the second half, it was all Golden Eagles, Bald Eagles, whatever they are. But yeah, there's been so much great. I've never thought I'd ever say this, but Bubba with a good point. So much going against KP. Here's the problem for me, and this is Jeremy as a friend to KP. KP has been stubborn this year. He's not listened to as many people as I feel like he should have. The first year was absolutely not KP's fault, in my opinion. This year, he does get some of the blame. I mean, if I'm being unbiased, he does garner a share of the blame for this season a little bit, with him being a little bit hard-headed. But, I mean, when you've been beat down, that's why I'm not really willing to say that 100%, because sometimes when you're not in that man's shoes and you don't know how it is, I can only imagine how it is for him to go out to eat every day and have people pointing and looking and talking and stuff like that. That can build up. That can get to you mentally. And it could be a hard thing to maneuver around. So let's see. Let me ask you this last question, and I'll let you again. I appreciate your time. I'm really, really happy we can get you on here today. Last question. As fans, what do we do to get through the rest of the season and not go crazy? Because if you've looked at social media, which I know you don't really get on social media too much, but if you look on social media, every single second of the game is dissected by we suck, we're awesome, no, we suck again, we suck really bad, oh, we're going on a run, we're good again. How do we as fans not only cope but get through the rest of the season? It's only a minimum of 6 games left. If we go, I know I'm getting a little positive here, but we might go on with Skylor. That's what we should call him from now on. With Tylor and Sky being back for the ACC tournament, we could go on a little bit of a run. We'll have a little bit of depth. But how do we get as much pain as we've been through as fans? And at the end of the day, sports pain is not the same thing as real pain. You know that. I know that. The panel knows that. But how do we kind of get through all that stuff with these last 2 weeks of the season and still come out of it with some hope?
Yeah, I know it's tough. And like I said earlier, I'm a fan. I always have been. But what I do is when I'm watching the game, and it's tough to watch sometimes because we've been spoiled as fans, because we had great runs. And I just think, when I'm watching the games and we having a tough time, I'm like, good times are ahead. Good times are coming. I know this is not where we're going to be. I know we're going to be on top again. Maybe it's next year, 3 years from now, but it's going to come because this is Louisville basketball. I mean, I say top 5. People say top 10. I say top 5. Year in and year out, quality basketball, good basketball. The coaches, the championships that we've been a part of here, and it will change. It's going to come. And one last point I will say.
Sure.
About the state of our team right now, and the coach. It's hard to get when you're struggling. It's hard to have a team put out effort and continue to fight the way these kids have been fighting, and that's a testament not only to the coach but to the kids. I mean, because they can easily roll over. I mean, these games can be even more lopsided than sometimes that they are. They go on up. Carolina played well. Had a big win at Miami. Different points of the season. You see good things. And for that, it's you gotta give them guys credit. You really do.
Absolutely. I'm going to put you on the spot just a little bit before we let you go. We got 5 regular season games left to watch. How many of those we win?
Man, it all depends on the competition. It all depends on the top. I hope we win them all. I really do. I really hope we win them all. But
diplomatic Dejuan, I like it, man. I like it.
At this point, I mean, as long as we play hard and show effort, man, I mean, it is what it is.
That's fair enough, man. Dejuan, thank you so much for your time, brother. I love you as a person, as a friend, as a fan. Continued success. I was going to talk a little bit about going to ask you, but we've already kept you on here way too long. Next time you come on, we'll talk about what you're doing now. I know you're assistant basketball coach is it IU Southeast, right?
Yes, sir. Having a great time over. Won the conference championship last year, and just helping young kids, man, pursue their dreams and winning games along the way.
And we'll talk about that the next time because we'll have you on. If you have the time for us, right around March Madness, we'll have you back on and we'll talk a little bit about what you're doing now. And at that point, we'll know what's going on. Do we still have Kenny Payne as our head basketball coach? Do we not? We'll know at that point probably. We'll have you on to discuss it, and we respect your opinion and appreciate the fact you come on here with us.
Yes, sir. I'll see you guys March Madness, man. Thanks for having me, bud.
All right. That's Dejuan Wheat, the GOAT. Appreciate you, brother.
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's see. Yeah, I know. Steve was like, sorry, I had to get off the phone real quick. Yeah, we were the feed. All right. Hey, also, don't forget the NIL Flash Drive for women's basketball is coming up at halftime. Even if you're not here, you can participate at 502circle.com/give. That's from Zach Greenwell. It's halftime right now.
Yeah, we're down 13.
Good God, we're down 13. That's half. I didn't think that was a quick half then.
48-35.
Also, really quick, we want to give a couple advertisements for our sponsors, our friends out at Shoot 360 Louisville, Payton, Stephen, and them. Come one, come all. Members and non-members, there is a President's Day open gym. February 19th, 2024 from 8:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Ages 8 to 13. Sorry, Dalton, you can't join. You might be their height, but you're definitely older than 13. Only a few spots left. Don't miss out. Shoot360.com. And again, our guy Dan Furman out at the 502 Circle. It's going on right now, the Louisville women's basketball game. Be sure to scan the QR codes on the video boards or just visit 502circle.com/give. Let's prove what the Go Cards fan base is all about and pick up a big win while we're at it as far as that's concerned. And I'm going to go to Facebook because I've been neglecting Facebook today because of having to use the phone for Dejuan's interview. Sometimes it happens that way. You have glitches and you got to go on the fly. I've been trying to teach Wes, I've been trying to teach you that for the last few weeks on Live of 55, that sometimes you really cannot control all the other stuff. So it is what it is, guys. All right, let's catch up on the text line. Bubba Ray says, write this day down, but he doesn't in Higgy speak, so he was wrong anyway. So I take back my compliment to Bubba. Allie says this team started the season with 9 freshmen and sophomores, 2 juniors, 1 seniors. for the style of play, it wasn't going to start well. I don't disagree with that. Chris Steer says, I blame Kenny for the way some fans feel. Kenny doesn't let anyone know what's going on in practice or the program. Chris, that's what I would like to address really quick. We'll get to our men's basketball update. We'll wrap this up. We're going a little long today, but when Dejuan wants to talk, you let him talk. He's the GOAT. So you do it. You do what you do. So here's my thing. Kenny took a lot of flack when he did not let everybody know what was going on with Karan. That was Karan's business. He took a lot of flack when he didn't let people know about Dennis, and then come to find out, Dennis had a medical a life-threatening medical condition, and that's not your business. Chris, love you, buddy. You've always been a good supporter of the show. What happens with Hersey Miller? Same thing. Didn't really let everybody know what's going on. Kenny can. I agree with you and disagree with you. Kenny has not handled himself the best public relations-wise. He's had a safe haven on 93.9 every day, Monday through Friday, where he could go on and talk. He's not taking advantage of that. But Kenny absolutely does not owe us Dennis Evans' health conditions or what's going on with Karan Davis. He was trying to protect Karan Davis, and Karan himself. It is what it is. The stuff with Hersey, like, hopefully he's back. We don't know if he's coming back this year or not. It is what it is. So I'm trying to keep an eye on everything. So I agree with you. KP, and when I said this to Dejuan last year, I don't blame KP for any of the stuff that happened last year, because the kids that stayed were the ones he wanted to leave, and the ones that left were the ones he wanted to stay. So he had to deal with what he had to deal with, and it didn't end up well. That's in the past. This year, he brought in a top recruiting class. He went out with $1 million and got the fifth biggest. What the heck was that? You just had balloons go through your background, Joey. Did you wish somebody a happy birthday on your phone?
No.
No, there's more
I'm not
balloons.
even on my phone. Like,
there's more balloons going up right now. It just must be a party.
Are you talking about on this camera?
Yeah.
That's on your phone then, or that's on your laptop.
Can you stop pointing at me?
That's what that's plugged into, not mine.
I'm just trying to see what else. Anything else? Okay, let's not do that. But yeah, Kenny deserves a little bit. Like, Kenny's been stubborn. He's been hard-headed. Maybe it was because I said happy birthday. That's why the balloons. No more balloons. Who cares? He should have talked. He should have talked more. I agree with that 1,000,000%. He should have been more open with the media. But you all want him to be perfect, and he's not perfect, and he's a quiet dude. And if y'all wanted a guy like Bruce Pearl here that just says anything that comes to his mind, you didn't get that. You got a guy who is cerebral. He wants to keep things to himself. We haven't heard a whole bunch visit why. Me and Steve, we were talking about this yesterday at lunch, or was it the day before? Day before yesterday at lunch, Friday. It's crazy because a lot of the local media are mad at Kenny, not because he's sucking, but because they don't have any access to Kenny. And Steve was like, the funniest thing is that you've got the most access to Kenny, and you probably only have 1% access. I'm like, yeah, that's true. And the thing about it is, I probably know 100% of what's going on, but I'm told I can only talk about like 1% of the stuff I'm told. Y'all can be sure that I will always let y'all know what I'm allowed to let y'all know. But going back to Chris, your comment, you blame Kenny for the way some fans feel. I agree and disagree, because some of them are salty because they didn't know about Karan the very second it happened. They didn't know about Dennis the very second it happened. And they didn't know about Hersey the very second, or JJ either. He was trying to protect them. He was trying to let them go get second opinions before he said anything. And it just wasn't good enough for some people. So it is what it is. Let's get to the men's basketball update really, really quickly, and we'll head around the bend. Lost to Boston College earlier in this week after being up 8 at the half. Ran out of juice and bodies in the second half. Speaking of bodies, we lost Tyler for the Pittsburgh game, and it showed. We lost big and missed him badly. Sky's only out for a few more weeks. Trying to get a health update from him, from his dad as we speak, because I can multitask from time to time. Wish him the best of luck and a speedy recovery. I've absolutely loved watching the basketball games and seeing Brady and Jeff at the away game, sitting behind the bench, supporting our team. Speaking of football, Dalton, we're going to turn it over to you for a few. And Bubba, please don't name other radio hosts in my chat, because then I get texts from them. They're like, are you talking crap about me on your show? No, But if I do talk about them, I will let them know. So let's try to be nice. Let's not call anybody out of their name like you just did. Mark, can't wait until we get our new coach. Well, I hope that 2025, you can wait till 2025. I'm just kidding. I have no idea how that's going to shape. I can tell y'all this. Kenny thinks he's getting a year 3. Does that mean he's getting one? Don't know. Not for sure. But Dalton, we're going to hand this over to you. There's been a lot of stuff. Again, we have been on hiatus for about a month trying to get Teddy Bridgewater on the show, and we got contacted earlier this week, and it was like, well, we're not going to be able to do it now. We had already that was what I was afraid of with advertising for the show this week. I was like, well, we already advertised for it now, and he's canceling last second. Understood it, got something way cooler set up, so we're going to get that done for y'all here in the next month. But there's been some stuff happening as far as additions and new targets and stuff like that. Dalton, can you let us know what's going on?
Truthfully, I'll be honest, 55, there's not much. We're kind of in that lull between the transfer portal kind of dwindling down and spring practice coming up, which should be coming up here pretty soon. I mean, the spring game kind of concludes that. I think it's April 19th this year.
Yep.
So since our last recording, we've had 2 offensive line commitments, one from North Oldham, another from Ohio. 2 guys that are currently listed as 3 stars, but right now it's really hard to look into 2025 rankings because they really haven't been formulated all that much. So I would expect them to both be ranked by the time the new rankings come out. If not, that by the time they sign, they definitely will be in the top 1,000 in my opinion. Grady Anthony, Jake Cook are the 2 offensive linemen I'm talking about. Mason Mims, the other commit, is the quarterback pledge from Alabama. So currently at 3 commits, not much going on at the moment. We'll start to pick back up in full force here shortly when spring practice starts, and you have a boatload of unofficials that continue to pop off. But if one thing is for certain is that Louisville is continuing to prioritize South Florida. That is one thing that is becoming more and more emphatic, and Brom has been down to that area with his staff multiple times over the past couple months. So that's the thing to focus on there. But really not much. 2 solid offensive line prospects that I think are both developmental pieces, but you don't need them to be that great right away. So there is an avenue for both getting playing time at Louisville. But at this point, we're sort of in wait and see approach, man.
All right, and I have seen my highlight since we've been off was I forgot who we were visiting. I want to say we were in Georgia, but Brom and one of the coaches went down there and they wore hats that said something like "taking SHIT personal" or something like that. I got a big kick. It popped me. It was funny. So we got stuff. I've retweeted a couple. Just make sure y'all stay tuned in to Dalton. Hit Cardinal Sports Zone's Twitter at Card Sports Zone, as you can see underneath this. Dalton is _. I'm Jeremy _CSZ. We'll make sure we retweet everything so that you all know what's going on with the latest in Cardinal football, because that's about to heat up. Spring game, April 19th. Hope to see a lot of you all there. What's up, Wes Brocky in the building, our guy. Robert Holt, if it's cooler than Teddy. No, it involves Teddy, but instead of us, I don't want to give it away, but it's going to be something cool to where we set up at a neutral site and do an interview. So don't want to give it away, but that's what we're going to work on here in a couple of weeks, and we hope to have that for you before the summer. So that's something cool we're working. So it's not cooler than Teddy. It's Teddy in a cooler situation than what we're going to do. We're going to talk to him about his new position as head football coach with the Northwestern Bulls. That's what it's called, right? Northwestern. I always mess that up. Got it in that time. Bubba says he'll bring his orange flag so I can find him. But yeah, make sure you bring your orange flag so that way I know where to walk around. We were supposed to have a women's basketball update with Sam at the half. Apparently, he was too sad from being down so much to get in contact with us. So look, I'm very happy with the way that episode 200 has went so far. Again, we had Steve Rummage on here for a little while, the first 20 minutes of the show. Dejuan Wheat was here. We're all here. Wes filling in for one of the 4 people that got sick or just forgot to show up today. We appreciate you doing that. Wes is part of something really cool called it's a Twitter space. It's for y'all have an official name now, correct?
Yes. Power 10.
Power 10. Oh, Jonathan Williams on YouTube says he'll go to the game with me. Okay, cool. Appreciate you too. Look, we're going to talk about Jonathan here in a second. High school principal extraordinaire Jonathan Williams, an aspiring podcast host. He's watching this on YouTube. Let's get to the rapid fire, and we'll end the show. We're going to talk a little bit, like I said, about Jonathan and some other stuff. Softball suffered their first loss of the season, falling 6-3 to Florida Atlantic during the week. They have won 11 out of their first 12 games this year. That's not at all what Higgy typed, but I had to piece that together phonetically because he's a moron. Baseball fell 8-7 to Indiana State and 4-3. It got walked off versus UConn in Florida to start the 2024 season. They were supposed to play yesterday, got rained out. Supposed to play this morning, got canceled. So Wednesday, we will be playing. Higgy didn't put the name of the team on here, so I don't know who we're playing, but we're going to be playing Wednesday here at Jim Patterson. Come on out. I believe admission is free because it is a non-conference home game. Women's basketball, it was announced. I hate reading his words because he writes like a 2-year-old. It was announced that women's basketball will compete in the inaugural 2024 Women's Champions Classic. The field for that classic includes Tennessee, UConn, Iowa, and Louisville. It will be in Brooklyn on December 7th of this year. Pretty interesting event. I think I agree I don't agree with Iowa being in the Champions Classic, but the other 3 teams sure remind me of women's college basketball at all points in my life. Men's tennis, Etienne Dene and Nathan, it probably was said Nathan, he just misspelled it, Nathan Rodriguez, took the win over the nation's number 4 doubles pair, earning the ACC Doubles Team of the Week honors. And finally, women's lacrosse picked up their first victory yesterday, 14-9 over Marquette. They had lost to number 4 Denver and Colorado to start the season earlier in the week. Look, great time. That was This Week in Cardinal Athletics, a.k.a. Rapid Fire.
Xavier said they played Wednesday.
Xavier. That's who I thought it was, but for some reason I just didn't pull the trigger on Xavier. I didn't want to be wrong.
3 p.m.
What can you give us an update on the women's basketball score too, Joey, while we're getting around to it?
48-35 started the third quarter.
All right. Jonathan Williams says Joey needs to talk more on the show. He has plenty of opportunity to talk whenever he wants.
Yeah, when Jeffrey takes a breath.
I don't do that very often. Look, make sure y'all are out here supporting our photographers at CardinalSportsZone.com. We appreciate all y'all's time and hard work. Shout out to all of our fine sponsors, Bear Nose on Market, Fitness Market, 4-Peg Smokehouse, the Collision Course Crew Tailgaters, Cherry Pick and Juice Bar, Shoot 360 with Peyton Siva, and Mossy Oak Property, and Hart Realty. Our guy Paul Thomas sponsoring the text line. We appreciate all y'all's love and support. This is normally where I say we're working on more. We ain't working on more because we just got 4 new sponsors and we're good. So if you want to sponsor the show, hit us up. We'll get you set up for football season on social media. You can find everywhere to contact us underneath Wes's beautiful face. And if you want to send us a little sponsorship, you want to support the show monetarily underneath Dalton's 12-year-old face. I'm just kidding. You know I love you, buddy. You can find out all the avenues that you can monetarily sponsor. And, of course, we have our premium YouTube subscriptions. Our guy Corey Massey is a premium subscriber. Our guy Robert Holt is a premium subscriber. Uncle Larry in the building. What's good, Unc? Bubba Ray says whenever Nunn needs new tires for his walker, he'll help out. That's very nice.
Tennis balls on the bottom of it.
Just throw those tennis balls on for sure. And Welch 502 says, love the show. Go Cards. Look, we love doing this for you. We will be with you all every week, whether it's here on the main Cardinal Sports Zone podcast or we started. And we've not really got to talk about this either, Wes, because we've been off the air for the last 3 or 4 weeks. Mm-hmm. But when we realized it was going to be a little bit of time before we got back into it, I resurrected an old brand of mine, Live of 55. And what I decided to do with Live of 55 is give a platform to the young up-and-coming podcasters, vloggers, space guys. And I got about 8 or 9 guys that I enjoy listening to and put them in a group chat in Higgy, which I don't enjoy listening to. And we got this together, and it's kind of like where they get to practice. It's not always the best. We don't always talk about Louisville sports, but it's a good time. Allie says, Dalton, nice job on the top 5 Impact Portal editions. Good show. Dalton's got a great thing going on with Locked On Louisville. I know there was some doubt whether that was going to continue in the future, but I'm glad that he decided to keep that going because a lot of people, and when I say this, I'm not blowing smoke, a lot of people depend on that for their morning sports fix every day. So very proud of you there, Dalton.
I'm one of them.
You're welcome.
Did he?
Thank
Huh?
you.
What?
I thought you were just gonna
Hey,
keep
look,
going.
we're closing the show. And look who's joins us. Hey, Sam, what's going on, buddy?
Can y'all hear me properly?
Oh, yeah, we can hear you properly.
Dude, it's the signal, man. I couldn't get anything strong enough.
So you were on Dalton's Wi-Fi.
It's crowded in here, bro. Like, so many people, I guess, pulling from it. So I found the best place I could have right now.
Hey, it's a good spot. Not a lot of outside interference. We were just wrapping up the show, so it's good. I'm glad you were able to join us. Can you kind of give everybody a quick little we talked about them women's basketball being in the 2024 Champions Classic. We gave them an update of the score at the moment. You can probably give us a better update with you being there live. Can you kind of talk about, because I know there was a fine earlier in the week and there were other games. Can you kind of just like update for those of us that can't keep up with it all the time? Can you let us know what's went on this week in the world of women's college basketball?
Well, okay. So, right now we're down 14 to Virginia Tech. And I can tell you right now, Georgia Amar and Kidley, they aren't missing anything right now. I think they have, 18 and 12 points respectively right now. That's the last time I checked. I can't hear you.
19 and 17.
19 for Moore and 17 for Kitley.
Yeah, they're not missing. I was sitting and I was able to talk to a few scouts, WNBA scouts that were here, and they said the same thing about Kidley. You know what's coming, but you can't stop it. You could defend it as best way you can, but it's hard to defend what she's able to do. And so yeah, that's where we're at right now. The Cards are shooting themselves in the foot with some of their poor decisions offensively, but they've been better in the second half the last few games. So hopefully that trend continues and they're able to find something that works here.
Earlier in the week, after one of the most bogus foul calls I ever seen, not even Jeff Walls, the University of Louisville fined $20,000 for Jeff Walls' critical comments after the end-of-game situation that gave Louisville a loss. Was it last Sunday?
Yes.
Last Sunday versus Syracuse?
Yes.
And oddly enough, another women's basketball in the ACC, another women's basketball coach in the ACC got fined for doing the same thing yesterday, but he only got fined $5,000.
Yeah, it was Courtney Banghart from North Carolina, I think. Yeah.
North Carolina. Yeah, it was. It was North Carolina. Bubba Ray says, reminder, Sam picked Miami. Okay, that's going to go on forever, apparently.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And Uncle Larry's ready to tailgate. But so what? We had another game, though, in between this game and Syracuse, didn't we?
We had the Boston College game where Louisville struggled it's hard to do anything offensively when you turn the ball over, I think, about 9 or 10 times in the first quarter. And it allowed a Boston College team who is top 5 in the league in reboundings, and then I think top 5 again, I think, in steals. So it allowed them to play the type of game they wanted to play and allowed them confidence. And when you're a better team than the opposing team, you want to take the confidence away early, very, very early. But the Cards wasn't able to do that, and Boston College was at home. It wasn't a big home court advantage, but it was just enough to help those ladies make it a game. And I don't think it really should have been, but Cards were able to pull it out and stay in the race for first place. A loss here today would almost damage any hopes of them tying for first place.
Gotcha.
But we still have some work to do when it comes to getting Quad 1 wins when it comes to the NCAA tournament and seeding purposes.
All right, Sam, we're going to let you get back to the action. We know you're there to celebrate and have a good time with your nieces. We appreciate you taking time out to join us. Chief Suck, and we appreciate you doing that, man.
I can't even say nothing about it, man. We the champs right now, so we taking it from.
Hey, did you order really quick? Did you order the championship?
No, that's why I was asking you about the size on it.
Well, because it's weird you say that because I want to debut a new championship that I added to my collection.
Okay.
It is the Live with 55 championship belt.
That's sweet. I know you showed us a preview pic of it. That thing is awesome, man.
It is.
It's got the car. It's got all of our It's got Ringside Collision Course Crew logo on the back. It's pretty sweet. But you mentioned. So did you order the belt or not?
No, but not. Is it coming that same size right there?
Yes.
Oh, well then I'm gonna be on that then. Hopefully it's still on sale like you showed me. But
Yeah.
I'm sure it's on sale. It's a Chiefs belt.
Yeah. At WWEshop.com.
so
But,
it's not on like the NFL.
No. You buy that from WWE.
Oh, okay. Well, gee, I was gonna go on to NFL.
I'll give you a code. We have a discount code for Ringside, so I'll give you the code when we get. Let me finish my show, Sam, and then we'll pander to your Kansas City crap.
Yeah, you can't find the Steelers one on there.
All right, Sam. Appreciate you, bro.
All right, man. Y'all take it easy.
Yep. Well, thanks for Sam for finally clocking in an hour late to the job. But yeah, shout out to my guy Malik at Capgo Championship Belts. This championship is beautiful. I'm gonna hold it around my shoulder for the rest of the show so I can show it off. No, I'm not. I'm gonna put it down. Look, back to where we were at before Sam clocked in. Oh, that'll fit right there. All right. Again, shout out to all of our fine sponsors: Bear Nose Fitness Market, Four Pegs, Collision Course Crew, Cherry Pick and Shoot 360, and Mossy Oak. You know where to find us. If you want to sponsor our show, contact us at one of our social medias. I already said that part. You can find the podcast version, though, on all the podcast avenues, over 125 in all: Apple, iTunes, Buzzsprout, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, Google, Amazon, iHeart. Hit subscribe, follow, or whatever Sean does on Tinder. You can probably do that as well. There's a check, a plus, a heart, whatever you got to do. It'll send the episodes to your phone or PC automatically by doing by hitting the button on it. If you haven't listened to all the prior episodes of the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast, don't worry. Go back to cardinalsportszone.com, the place it all began. Check them all out. Go to the podcast drop-down menu, click on CSZ Podcast. They are all there. Check out all of our exclusives. We have great exclusives by our exclusive writers, Brendan Thomas, Dalton Pence, and Sean Barber from time to time does write an exclusive, even though normally it's like something about a sad farmer or something like that. I'm not really sure, but shout out to Joey's Pullover. Bubba Ray says,
"Yep,
like it." Again, shout out to everybody out there that's watching the podcast. We appreciate y'all and love y'all. Shout out to our guys Marcus Maben and Steve Rummage, doing the Lord's work from 10 to noon every day, Monday through Friday on ESPN 93.9 The Phil. Sometimes it's live, sometimes it's Marcus. So it is what it is. Really quickly, Dalton, Wes, Joey, tell everybody, we'll go with Joey first. Where can they find you on social media?
At Joe Wallman 526.
Dalton?
_.
And last but not least, Wes.
Wes Keys _CSZ.
I like that. I like he added that CSZ to the who's beating on their microphone? I hope that's their microphone they're beating on. Okay. It was Dalton. Dalton the douche. No, just kidding. Stay tuned to our social media. Subscribe to us on YouTube or Facebook. I'm going to mess you up. I'm going to jump through the computer. I won't fit, but it is what it is. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube or Facebook to be alerted anytime we go live, even though we prefer YouTube. It don't even look like Dalton's doing anything now, and I'm still hearing the noise, so it is what it is.
I wasn't doing anything right then.
Okay. But when we go live, it'll alert you on YouTube. It'll alert you on Facebook. The live of 55s we do are not planned. So if you're subscribed to us, we'll hop up. It'll pop up. We'll hop up too, but it'll pop up on your phone notification bar at the top. Stay subscribed. Last words. Joey, we'll go with you for last words today for the show. We have Notre Dame Wednesday and Duke Saturday. Is that correct?
Yeah.
My last words?
Yeah, your last words.
Maryland sucks. Have your pet spayed or neutered, and if anybody knows of any good jobs out there, let me know.
All right. Well, personal ads. We're not above personal ads. Dalton, what about you?
I don't got much, man. Go Cards. Y'all have a good Sunday.
Wes Keys _CSZ and co-host of Live with 55. What about you?
Let's go. Let's get a win Wednesday.
Listen, we would need to turn Wednesday into Wednesday. When we come to you all next Sunday, we will talk a little bit more. We touched on it a little bit with Dejuan, but we'll talk a little bit more about expectations on coaching, and I'd be interested in seeing everybody's thoughts on that.
You're not talking about Jonathan.
Yeah,
Well, that was my last words. It wasn't my time yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah, you're good. You're good, bro. I didn't want to mess y'all
I
up.
just want to make sure.
Shout out to Steve.
Didn't forget.
I got it right here. Look, I do want to give a shout out to a member of the Williams family. Our baby cousin, Carrie Ann Williams, it is. 27 points, 17 rebounds, 9 blocks on Wednesday. Had an off game the next game with 33 points, 16 rebounds, and 9 blocks on Thursday. 6'3" sophomore star of Edmonson County. She's probably going to be the third region. I don't know how they do that. Miss Bat. She's the third region star right now, as far as I'm concerned.
She just joined the 1,000-point club and 500 rebound club.
1,000 points, 500 rebounds, beast. I put out a tweet yesterday shouting her out, and as you can tell by the picture, she's a foot taller than most of the girls on her team and probably most of the girls on any team. So shout out to her. We're very proud of her. Very glad. Her grandpa was a really good
family.
Well, her grandpa was a really good basketball player.
Delta State, I think.
He won he was a part of the only, I believe, he went on. It was the year after he left. That's right.
79 Edmonson County won the state tournament.
Regardless, she's got a really good basketball playing
Jonathan
grandpa.
was good too.
Who?
Jonathan was good too.
She had a really good basketball playing grandpa. Speaking of, all jokes aside, her dad, Jonathan has finally listened to me, and he is started. He started off on Spaces, but he's wanting to build a podcast brand, and we've kind of worked on a logo for it, and we'll show that to you all. Well, he can show it to you when he's ready to. I'm really proud of it. He's got a kid in his school, sophomore as well, that come to him talking about wanting to do podcasting and vlogging and stuff like that. He come to me and asked me for some advice, and I've kind of been mentoring them both on how to do it. I think it'd be a really cool thing if I don't know if she's going. Yeah. Oh, Jonathan says Edmonson County won the state tournament in 76.
That's what I meant. It's 76.
So then Uncle Eddie graduated in 75?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was 1 year. It was the very next year.
Okay. Shout out to Jonathan. Correct. He played at Delta State. Thank you, Jonathan. Do you want to come in and co-host the show with us as we're wrapping up? Jeremy, you've been a great mentor to our student. Well, I appreciate that, John. I've been a great mentor to you, too, because you wouldn't have known, Jay Willie, you wouldn't have known your head from a hole in the ground if it wasn't for me. I'm just kidding. But look, that's all we got for today.
Yeah.
Make sure – what, Wes?
So I know we do them randomly, but me and you talking next Level 55 is probably Tuesday, right, for a pregame?
I think so. I think we're going to do a Live 55 Tuesday. It is what it is. If you Alexa, stop. Alexa, stop. I don't have time for you today. Can you shut her up? I'm not very good at getting them to be quiet. Jay Williams, ECHS is his Twitter name, so follow him if you want to listen to his podcast. They do a lot of great stuff with high school basketball. And I'm sure they'll venture off into football and other athletics when it comes time in the third region. I listened to it. I liked it. I didn't hate it. And Jonathan kind of talks sometimes like he's got a bunch of rocks in his mouth. And I really enjoyed listening to the show. Shout out to Joseph. He was way better than Jonathan. But as always, anything else? Anybody got anything else to say? No. If not, all right. Well, again, thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Dejuan Wheat, we appreciate you joining us. As he has made me put him in his phone, Big Daddy Steve, thank you for joining us on the show. Look, we're going to thank you for 200 episodes.
So can I choose what I'm in your phone as?
You are? Yeah, sure.
I can't say it on air.
Okay. And that's why we hit that fire. Yeah, we are. Uncle Larry, we already talked about it. Baseball Wednesday versus Xavier at the gym, at the Pat, whatever you want to call it. Thank you, Corey. We appreciate it. Girls are making a run right now. We're going to get off here so we can watch it.
Oh.
Until the next time, we appreciate you all for all your support. We love you all. This has been the Cardinal Sports Zone Podcast.